Hey guys, this is Andrei, a certified translator and a real estate concierge, and as you see, spring is in full motion. So we're having new cover, the new background, the new everything. And grand things are happening in town, except everything is kind of normal. And now we'll just take a usual closer look at how normal things are. People who come over here, people I haven't seen for a while, are asking what's changed, and basically nothing has changed. The currency rate is a little bit up, the cash issues, everybody knows of them. Let's go cover these things step by step today. We're mostly going to talk about travel and immigration a little bit, and a little bit about the real estate. And next Sunday at 16 o'clock, I'm hoping we'll release a nice video that you may enjoy, especially those of you who are tracking the Indian drama, the relocation fraud thing. Let's get started. There is always room for the usual warning. My blog is not a mass media source, let's say. All I'm saying is my subjective biased information digest. I'm getting you headlines, some yellow stuff, some rumors. Rumors are sometimes not necessarily just rumors. And I hope that some of that will either improve your mood or improve your strategic planning. I'm obviously not the guy to do strategic planning, because some guys with $4 million just bought that hotel, the gray glass tube behind me. So that was definitely not what I saw in the cards or in the stars. But it came, it happened. But let us talk about the travel and tourism and such like things in general. Things haven't changed much. In terms of immigration, there are still visa-free countries, 75 plus, that are allowed to come through the airport. The airport is a bit hard to reach still, via Istanbul, via Uzbekistan, and a few other ports of layover. There aren't many. Russia won't work for you because most of you would not have a Russian transit visa. Or you might get a visa, land in Vilnius rather than Warsaw, according to my recent American guy who took a bus from Warsaw that took a very long time to get here. And this works just perfectly well for now. One of the frequently asked questions, the friendly countries, the unfriendly goddamn countries. Americans are getting visas, Canadians are getting visas if they have to come through the land border. This doesn't make any problem. Residents get extended. An American guy just got a residency. He's in town, so everything works. As you understand, there are special circumstances happening south of us. And of course, I regret that, as I traditionally say. The war isn't helping business much. And still there are people who fall in love with our little place, because nothing changes here in terms of everyday life. Everything is like it was, except the real estate is going up a little bit, some of the offers. But we'll talk about this later. Speaking of travel, once you are here, by land on a visa most likely, by air without visa most likely, the issue of money, finance steps forward, because it's really hard to get around without any solid pocket money. So this is what I'm having in my pocket. I'm ready to go to the garage, so the wad is a bit thicker compared to the usual, but roughly there's two provincial average salaries in this pocket. It's not just about showing off, it's about what I feel like normal going with in the city to resolve my daily issues. Sometimes I have to handle a lot of fees for my clients, like 222 ruble payment, 111 ruble payment to expedite the visa and stuff like this. So that's what I keep for normal in my pocket. It's nothing exceptional. When you have fixed your budget, when you have drawn your budget, when you understand what your running expenses are going to be, including accommodation, it's easier to have a certain amount on card, ideally several cards, because occasionally people actually aren't used to our ATM ways and the cards get blocked by ATMs. Then they have to do their homework and like sweat through the weekend without any money to get the card back, which is a little bit, awkward to be experiencing. So just don't do it. Take several cards and have some cash with you to get the accommodation. It's really hard to book accommodation online and pay for it online, so the best you could do is to book online, come over, prepay several days and see if you would like to move on or not. Registration rules stand. The registration videos are on my channel. Maybe I'll put one in the link just for you to be sure. And there's also online registration that you know of. The website doesn't work very well in English. All the way you fill it out and then you go to the very couple of last points and the whole thing doesn't work. So it's best to do that in Russian or offline, in which case it's a paid service. Once you have your base and you start shopping around, the everyday expenses can be paid by card, and my travelers say about 70% of cases. So it's not really a big deal. It is a big deal when you're buying an apartment, and at the moment we have a little challenge looking for a one-room apartment, and they are in short supply, by the way. Something around $55,000, and something that has to be something that can probably be paid for overseas, because the owner is sitting abroad. There is a dollar account legally over there, so my guy who is not a Belarusian resident can cheerfully pay for it in this manner, and this way the transaction will be complete outside Belarus. There's no blockage risk because of the sanctions, and this is our current thing on hand. The real estate market is again alive after winter. People are buying homes. By the way, village houses around $10,000 in my area are gone. There's maybe one or two, actually, yeah, one or two. One is selling from a local, one is selling from an American guy, that are available in Stolpce area. It's one of the greenest areas, 1 hour away from Minsk, reasonably far and reasonably close to the city, which still gets people their residencies, then people buy their apartments and everything, and the whole thing works in motion and in the circle of life, in the circle of immigration life. It has its wrinkles. Some of you have experienced little bureaucracy here and there, but then choose your assistant carefully and you'll get the job done. Speaking of the real estate jobs, I would like to say again that officially I'm running a company to relocate people, so I'm not selling houses or flats, I'm selling solutions. And it's my best interest to facilitate you the fastest and cheapest solution of your case, maybe even not handling the case myself. If you need a student visa, you go to deal with the university directly and don't pay me any money at all, maybe just a consultancy. But my objective as a real estate concierge and official translator is to facilitate the deal at the fastest pace and in the most convenient manner for you and the seller. You rather than the seller, because the seller doesn't really pay me anything. There's no commission from the seller. And get the job done, settle you happily, and see you in the bar every couple of weeks. Next meeting, by the way, is April 16th, 19 o'clock. The place will be announced in the video description. We'll see if the season is picking up in Zibitskaya Street, and we'll see what kind of traffic there is in the bar, because now on Sundays it's just us, some dozen people, Americans, Europeans, mostly Germans, a couple of French, that's it. The French have their own get-together, so they're not really there. If you're in town, you're most welcome to attend. Generally, with all the goings on around here, it's funny that the real estate market in Belarus is still alive, and it's even more funny, it's actually kicking. There are over 1,000 deals in March in Minsk, and the same was for February, so it's not really dead anyhow. And compared to several years back, my first American refugee buying a one-room apartment, he still lives there, now he has family and everything. Congrats again. The one-room apartments are in short supply and in pretty bad pricing compared to those times, because we bought his Soviet-renovated one-room apartment, 33 meters, good district, Turuchia, in the east, for around $49,000. Now it would roughly be $52,000, $53,000, because it's well located, nice looking thing, and generally the infrastructure is good. Now our objective is to find something similar and to push down the price reasonably, negotiate, and get the guy his desired residency. Again, it's an American citizen and it's a Belarusian flat, and it's a one-year residency that we're doing here. Another interesting case we're battling with is my American client, who is settled in Minsk, happily living, and his charming village home, ensuring his residency by now. But obviously he wants to not rent a good house, but to buy a good house. The good house is owned by the guy who is based in Poland, I think, and that guy is the owner on the paper. Now, the guy was trying to tell me that, no, this father of his who comes over to fix the electricity sockets and everything, he's the owner, but in real estate there's no, he's the owner. There's paperwork and that says that this guy is the owner. He's the only guy who can take a decision to sell or to gift or whatever. So the father has power of attorney, which actually he doesn't have it. The old lady, who's living in the village, has the power of attorney, which would allow to sell the house. So another little wrinkle comes from the old lady. She can't pass the powers according to this power of attorney, and we don't know how, straight she is in medical sense on top of others. And so we'll have to run all the checks and see if she's legally responsible and she can facilitate the deal when the day comes, if the day comes, because the whole family is kind of, they want one amount of money. We're talking about 300,000 bucks. By the way, house in Minsk, 10 minutes outside Minsk, 200,000 gets you a trash box, nothing else. Nothing we've seen for 2 months that got us any excited for this money. Not even $250,000. So you either buy something you can fix, or you shop a little bit further away and you'll get some options for this money. So 300,000 plus, and we may get this option, and the guy has to give his power of attorney sitting in Poland. But he just either doesn't want to understand why, or he's an idiot, but several times it was explained to him that it's for this paperwork. He says, no, we can summon all the papers ourselves, and the real estate agents are the only guys certified to collect certain types of data here in Belarus, certain kinds from certain agencies, that not even you, not with any power of attorney or ownership papers, could do as an owner. So this is the point of the breaking point, which we seem to have passed just now. The guy agreed to get power of attorney yesterday. And maybe when he comes over here in 2 weeks' time, we'll get the whole thing going with a deposit. And by the way, the house is under arrest. The printout that any real estate agency can get you, or you can get yourself in a certain way for a certain property to see any red flags, any disputes, anything. There's 150,000 bucks of a debt to the guy who is outside Belarus. And the father of the owner was suggesting that he takes this money, pays the guy back off, lifts the red flag, and then we handle the deal. Of course, my real estate agent said, no, that can't be done. Meanwhile, while these guys are delivering a baby, so to speak, we're trying to see any other properties, but even 400,000 properties just look like barns. They're not adequately priced or designed. As that client of mine said, they were designed by maniacs or something like this. They're funny. A few words generally about the real estate market. We just said it's alive, but the commercial real estate, especially offices, are going down in price badly. The main occupants are leaving or on the way to get a cheaper place. So Minsk has 200,000 square meters of empty offices. If you want to buy an office building with bright future prospects, that could work. If you want to place some workers here and do one of those online calling centers, which seem to be massively hiring people, by the way, that could work. If you're going to build one, I'm not sure what you're hoping about. So that's about it. As for the residential real estate, the good options are in hard supply. Another client, by the way, a good guy from EU, is shopping in the city center, one of those Stalin flats that 2 of them he's renting them out. You can expect $500 roughly per month on a long-term rent contract. And there are no adequate offers on hand. Either they're just run down, you have to put some effort into renovation, which is an option, by the way. Renovation materials are going down in price. Or you buy something ready, but you have to be very, very careful of several factors. Some of them we mentioned in the previous videos. With the current client, we're looking for a one-room apartment somewhere in central Minsk for the residency. It's going to be a small amount of money, like 55,000 roughly. And one of the options we have found in the circle of friends, taking it out of the hands of a real estate agent, keeping the price down a little bit, is located in Novaya Borovaya. Nice, trendy area. We just saw the highlights of the area. He likes it. He's American, so he finds some similarities in design. And the thing is that the owner is sitting in Poland. She has a kid that is registered to the place. The deregistration will have to occur online through court, which kind of sounds scary, but it's not. So I tried to find out with my agent if this is going to be an easy deal. We will compare it with other one-room apartments available in town and give you a nice clip sometime down the month. Thank you very much, guys, for the support of the channel. I'm only getting Patreon money now, so Patreon subscribers, my very warm welcome and thanks from Belarus. And thank you for watching. Any feedback is welcome in the comments. My contacts are down below there as well. Cheers from Minsk. See you later.